Alright, what's up people of the internet, this is Manga Chapter here with the newest chapter of One Piece. Picking up from last time, Luffy apparently has something to do, we don't know yet. But Zoro mentions that him and everyone else will be waiting for him as soon as he's done at the eastern port of the island. Zoro, of course, just so happenly when he says that, goes in the wrong direction. The Navy apparently found out where everyone is going, but they show that all the navies that are actually at the eastern port that were going to be called, to notify that the pirates are coming, were actually taken out. We actually now get to see what Luffy was doing, and he actually went to go get Rebecca, or whatever he's doing. He's calling out her name, just trying to know where she is. Rebecca actually hears Luffy, and she looks out her window to see him, and just so happens he's there. I forgot to mention a long time ago, Luffy's been spotted by the Marines because he's yelling at the top of his lungs. So a little squad of them are coming now. And for a short while, we go back to King Riku, and he says get Rebecca and Viola, and they're going to go inside the middle of town. And he tells Tank to get them, and he's getting ready to tell everyone that him and Viola and Rebecca is going to be ruling again. Back to Luffy. He jumps up and grabs onto the window that Rebecca was looking at. I also forgot to mention that Rebecca was told by one of the maids that she's in the room with to not talk to pirates, but she doesn't really care because it's Luffy. She mentioned he may be a pirate, but he saved the flipping country. Luffy came to ask her about, is it okay about the soldier? I'm guessing that's Kyros. And yes, she already knows that, that Kyros tried to tell her that, he doesn't want her to see his face ever again, but that's pretty douchey on his side. And of course, she's pretty worried that she might have, done something wrong for him to do that. Luffy says he doesn't flippin' know, and she has to figure that out for herself. He has to leave the country. So he just came to ask her about everything that what he asked. And she yells out, of course. Then Luffy yells back with a question. Then he says, then will you come with me? And she says, yeah, I will. And then Viola busts in the room and says, and yells and calls out both of them. Rebecca goes over to Viola and says she needs a favor. So then Luffy jumps out the window with Rebecca. One of the guards or whatever runs over to where King Riku is and informs him that Luffy, or in his case he said just a pirate, took Rebecca. King Riku of course asks which pirate was it, and the guy who came over to inform him struggles to say that it was Luffy. Of course, King Riku is in shock, and this information somehow spreads around town like at sonic speed, and I don't know why. How did it never? Now all the Marines are trying to go after Luffy to get Rebecca back. Luffy, I'm guessing it was Luffy, used Conqueror's Haki to get some of the soldiers out of the way. Luffy says to Rebecca that he'll be leaving her behind the hill and lure the soldiers away, because as soon as they find her, they'll take her back to the palace and he'll be gone. We go to Kyros, who just got done packing all his stuff inside the house. I'm guessing he's talking to the heavens, to his wife, to himself, how his work is done and Rebecca is happy. And despite all the stuff that's happened to him, she can finally be proud of her identity and stuff like that. Only Kyros to find out when he walks out of his house, there's Rebecca standing right there. She says stop lying, but Kyros said that letter wasn't a lie. Kyros mentions that he killed many, and he's no child of a prince, so yeah. Rebecca pretty much yells out to him that she pretty much doesn't care even if he killed more than 100 people. It's just that he's her only and one father. Rebecca just said stop with the lies and just be with her until the end, just like he promised. And obviously they both start crying, and Kiddo says, "Are you sure you want him as a father?" She says, "Well, yeah. Let's live together, man." We go back to the palace, and Viola goes to King Riku saying that, Rebecca won't be returning to the palace, and, it's her wish. King Riku just laughs it off and said, it can't be helped. And we go back to everyone else, and, no one knows where Luffy is, and just so happily Law is gone as well. And they're like, okay, so, where are the two leaders of this operation? Just so happily, Fujitora appears out of nowhere, which only means that Luffy needs to hurry the crap up.